Today I will show you some situations where it's actually better to travel the longer way with the cue ball instead of using the shortest path. First of all, of course, most of the time you should use a short and simple path to get position for the next shot. But there are some situations, maybe 2 out of 10, where it's just more clever to use the longer path for the cue ball and of course more rails. This can have several reasons. For example, imagine you have to roll the cue ball really slow to hold position for the next ball. Often you mess up the whole shot. In this situation it's better, if possible, to use the longer way and just let your stroke out. Or maybe the whole shot just gets easier if you decide to go the longer way. Or a longer way means you're going towards the position line and you're not crossing it. You already know that from the lesson about don't crossing the line. The link is at the end of the video. Or another reason, you just use the natural path of the cue ball and you don't have to do something fancy. But that's enough of the theory. I will now show you some example situations. Well, this is the first situation. You see, I have a tough cut on the 8 ball. I decide to play the 8 ball in the upper right corner pocket. I could also go for the other corner pocket on the left side of the table, but yeah, then I would have to use inside spin, and you don't want to use inside spin on shots because yeah, it's always dangerous if you use inside. Of course you can do it, I also do it, but inside spin is always really dangerous. So we're playing the shot low left and try to draw the cue ball all the way back to play the 9 ball in the upper left corner. And as you see, yeah, it's getting really tough. You really have to put a lot of draw on the cue ball and it's a really tough shot. So the second thing that you can do now is don't draw that much, hit a little harder and go 2 rails so the shot gets a little easier if you use these 2 rails. But it's getting easier again. We now use the natural path of the cue ball. We don't manipulate the cue ball by hitting low on the ball and trying to draw the cue ball all the way back. So instead we're just hitting high on the cue ball and we use the natural path of the cue ball. And you're now seeing I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 and even 5 rails and I have a guaranteed position on the 9 ball. You can hit the rail in this big area and you will always have a shot. And the shot gets easier because you don't have to draw the ball. Just play a follow shot and then the cue ball will automatically travel towards this rail, somewhere hit at that rail, and you will always have a shot on the 9 ball. So here it's more clever to use more rails to go the longer way with the cue ball, but the shot gets a lot easier and you're more likely to make the 9 ball after putting the 8 ball. This is the second situation. You're seeing I'm trying to follow the cue ball really soft with a lot of left spin, a lot of inside spin, and you see I'm getting position on the 9 ball. But inside spin is always dangerous. There can many things happen that aren't good for you. You can even miss the whole shot or you can scratch in the side pocket. So it's a really tough shot and it's really not that predictable. Of course, as you saw, it's makeable. But the better way in this case is also go the longer path. Just hit the cue ball with low right, hit it hard, and again you can hit the rail everywhere in this area and you will always have a shot on the 9 ball. If you hit a little too low, well, yeah, then you're going this way. And if you don't hit that low, you will hit at the left side of the table. But a shot on the 9 ball is always guaranteed and the shot gets easier. Yeah, it maybe looks harder because I have to hit the cue ball really hard, but I can hit the cue ball with outside spin and that means automatically the shot gets easier than hitting with inside spin. And you have a guaranteed position on the 9 ball again. Well, this is the next situation. Here I'm going with inside spin and I'm getting a nice position on the 9 ball. But as I said, you don't want to use inside spin. Of course, it's makeable and it's not that tough of a shot if you're in training. But if you're in a match, somehow shots with inside spin become really hard, especially a shot like this. So you don't want to use that inside spin, and you don't want to go one rail in this case, because speed control is also pretty tough. If you hit a little thinner, a little thicker, you can go way up table, or you can even go too short and have no shot on the 9-ball. So we don't play it with inside spin. The next way to play it is with low right, and you see you're going 2 rails, and this shot gets really easier than to play it with inside spin. Yeah, I would play this shot in a match. It's really easy to make, and you have a nice position on the 9-ball. But there is also another way, by using more rails, and with these more rails, as you see, I'm going 1, 2, 3 and 4 rails, and I have a perfect position on the 9-ball, and in this case I'm again going towards the ball. Yeah, so speed control gets a lot easier if you use that long path. You just have to hit the cue ball with no spin, just the center ball hit, and you're going perfectly towards the 9-ball, and you have a really big area for your cue ball so that you have a nice shot on the 9-ball. Well, that's it. But there are a lot of more situations where you just can use more rails to have a safer position on the next ball. Just remember, if you feel that the speed control gets easier if you use more rails, then just use more rails. If the shot itself gets easier and you have a higher chance in making the ball plus getting position, yeah, then you should choose the longer path. Because if you don't make the shot, because if the shot is too tough, well, then the position that you may get is useless. So if the shot gets easier and you're more likely to make the ball and get position, use more rails. Or if you're going towards the ball, if you can find a path on the table that will lead you towards the position, towards the ball, then just do it. Or if you don't want to manipulate the cue ball that much, if you just want to use the natural path, then more rails are maybe the better choice for you. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just let me know what you think about using more rails. I don't say you have to do it my way, I just give you tips on the way that will make the game maybe easier for you. And yeah, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment. And yeah, that's it for today. See you at the next lesson, guys. Take care.